Today's exercise was running again. Unfortunately, I hate running, but I gotta get into shape somehow. But I'm gonna talk about how the nervous system and neurons play a part in muscle contraction. So first we need to get a signal to start a muscle contraction, and that happens through the nervous system and neurons, so that can kind of be seen here. Neurons have dendrites which receive the signal. They then bring it to the cell body or the soma, and that's what integrates the signal and then passes it on down to the axon. The axon is going to carry it to the synaptic cleft, which we'll talk about later. But the axon is covered in myelin sheath, which is an insulator. And allows that signal to be passed on faster. Now, what's happening down this axon are depolarizations of the cell. That can be seen here. This is a measure of the charges. So our resting membrane potential of a neuron is negative 70 millivolts. From there, sodium is going to leak into the cell, and once the cell reaches negative 55 millivolts, sodium is then going to rush into the cell. Once we get positive 40 millivolts, we're going to reach that action potential where sodium channels are going to close and potassium channels are going to open. From there, potassium is going to flood out of the cell with its concentration gradient, so it's just trying to balance those charges, and that's what's going to bring us down here. Now this is past our resting membrane potential. It's called our refractory period. This is an overshoot, and to bring it back to where it needs to be, we're going to use the sodium-potassium pump. The sodium-potassium pump is the first place that we use ATP. We need to use that energy because we're forcing things against their concentration gradient. So with that, we have 2 potassium coming into the cell and 3 sodium being forced out of the cell. And that's what's going to bring us back to negative 70. So this depolarization is literally electricity that's happening in our body down the axon. So each depolarization is happening and it's firing each one to then integrate a muscle cell later on. So that's what's happening when I run. Yeah.